Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Ratchet. It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive.
She also might have unlocked the door.
Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure. I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind.
Okay, maybe now I can look at the bag.
Let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard... I can see the latch very well from here, even with the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that up with Mrs. Hubbard. Mrs. Hubbard, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame Hubbard?
Of course. I have an excellent memory.
Mrs. Hubbard, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Ratchet.
Madame Hubbard is a force to be reckoned with, but I suspect I'm not done with her. Thank you for your assistance, madame.
Alright, let's go talk to our boy.
Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you. Think, Poirot. That is not a good... That was easy. Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No. Tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Ratchet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir.
Yeah, good idea. We can check
Before
that.
we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his...
And all the H's, right? With the handkerchief.
Monsieur Masterman. And then his secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur.
Excuse me. What are you doing? Good idea, Tish. You're pretty locked in right now.
You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé." I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hubbard. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Ratchet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
What is the last station where we stopped?
Vinkovsky.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
Wonder if it's the bar
Can
guy.
you provide me with a list?
Yes, certainly.
Let's relook at this. You see any AWs? Toby Harris. Wasn't that the guy that we replaced to get our room? We haven't seen the Toby Harris yet, have we? Or Cyrus Hardman or Caroline Hubbard. That's what the H is for. She said it wasn't hers. So it's either Toby Harris or Caroline Hubbard. Or, sorry, Cyrus Hardman. Harris or Hardman? Hardman's in room 201. Okay. Constantine. Yeah, no first name. Alright, we'll do the reconstruction of his activity. Okay, what did he say? Got it.
Et voilà. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauchet in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the murderer could have escaped Ratchet's room without being seen. That was easy.
don't think we can draw these conclusions yet, can we?
According to the information I have, this is a solid choice. This direction looks promising.
She might not have murdered anyone, but she could have been in on it. This is my room. .201 is Hardman. Curtis Hardman or whatever. Yeah, there's no way they're all not a suspect still. What was my next task?
So, Poirot, I hope you are progressing in your investigation.
I have not finished yet, but it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I will report to you as soon as I can.
Okay. Already talked to her. See if I can find anything in here. Nope. Nobody's in here. Interesting. Don't tell me I had to go to the first class way on the other side. Ugh. Yeah, you gotta go to second class. Who we need to talk to? We need to talk to... .102 and 103.
Monsieur Edward Masterman, I believe. May I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk. I have a terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps...
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Fine, if you insist. I will help you.
Okay. What do I do? It's broken? Yeah, but I can't. It's not letting me grab any of them. I can't even lift them up. What the heck? There we go.
By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. Ah, this old scale will do the job. To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest.
Black's lighter than green. Black's lighter than blue. Black's lighter than red. And black is lighter than yellow. Yellow's lighter than red. And green. Okay. No. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me?
Start, I must first
I already did this.
Now that I know the order, I think that I can easily guess which one is the
1, 2,
clove
3.
oil.
The red.
Here is Monsieur Masterman's remedy. Here is your remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir. Ah, well. I can finally speak without too much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
Doesn't sound American.
I do not think that's...
He's not 66.
That is not a good answer. No, not good. I must admit I'm not right this time.
Is he American? He is American, okay.
I'm right again. At what hour did you last see Monsieur Ratchet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Ratchet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was not a gentleman, sir.
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir. He said he couldn't sleep otherwise. Last night he asked me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I gave him the pills.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No. He finds smokers disgusting.
Can you tell me again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Ratchet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
Gotta be this one.
What evidence can help me prove he's lying?
Not that one.
He is lying, and I will prove it.
Well, it's one of these two.
Monsieur, I believe you are not telling me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
How could he ask you for sleeping pills when he had a meeting written in his agenda?
I am very sure he had no meeting planned for the middle of last night.
Masterman is right. The meeting in his agenda was not that day.
Oh, yeah.
Received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow? And even asked